Well, this was a really interesting set of videos to wake up to, because today we are diving into the Vancouver Canucks pre-game comments. Now that the team is back in Vancouver and not on the road like they were for the past few days, we have the local media in the building able to ask some actual questions and get into the nitty-gritty about everything this market has been buzzing about. We're going to be talking about two videos in this. Today we're talking about Quinn Hughes' pre-game press conference as well as Rick Tocchet's pre-game scrum, because both of these guys ended up answering questions about the drama that has been going on in this city. The Pettersson-Miller situation. Now, I want to say this. The comments that were made today, very, very illuminating. Honestly, they kind of just confirm everything that's been going on, but they put a very big emphasis on what needs to be done instead of talking about the status quo as some sort of a problem. None of these guys, Tocchet nor Hughes, are saying, oh, these guys don't like each other and it's a big deal and yada yada yada. No, they're not saying any of that, but they are also not shying away from it. And I think this is a very good set of interviews that were done here. Starting out with J-Pat. He went out there and posted this video of Quinn Hughes' commentary on team unity and harmony in the Canucks room these days. It's a 1 minute and 59-second video. I'll leave a link in the description, and it's a really good video. Not from a production standpoint, J-Pat actually screws it up because he films it in landscape, but it's obviously posted in portrait, so the video is sideways. But I'm going to try my best to read the transcription, the captions on this video, because Quinn has some really insightful stuff when responding to this question. Team unity these days. There's a lot to talk outside about it, J-Pat goes out there and says. Is the rift in here? You're the leader of this group, but have you had to step into sort of your leadership and test it in any way? J-Pat straight up asks, is there a rift in here? And Quinn says, I think that it's been a lot of learning for everyone in here. Obviously not beating around the bush, everyone knows what reports are out there, Quinn says, but I think that everyone expects a lot out of each other. There's times where I get upset with Millsy. There's times I get upset with Elias Pettersson. There's times when I get upset with Filip Hronek. And that doesn't mean that I don't love those guys and vice versa, you know? I'm gonna make some bad plays. They're gonna make a play where I wish they saw me here or saw me over there. Over the course of playing together for 6 years, I think those things are normal and are going to happen. As far as I think, just continue to keep everyone on the yellow brick road, and our ultimate goal, which is short-term, you know, having a good game tonight, and long-term, being a successful team and getting into the playoffs. I mean, I just think 100% I believe it's workable, and I believe in both of them. They're great players, they're great people, and you know, like I said, there's times where we all get into it, but it's a family here. We just gotta continue to push forward and play the way we want to play. I think if there's a positive looking at this, I think Petey and Millsy would both say that they haven't been playing their best hockey this year, and considering where we are in the standings, and you think that, you know, that's a positive thing that we could look at, is that, you know, two of the best players out there can be better. There's a little bit of a funny thing going on with the closed captioning here, but that's what he said in the 2 minutes, and it's a really good interview. I mean, this has been one of the biggest breaths of fresh air for the Vancouver Canucks, let alone the Elton John reference, the goodbye yellow brick road, but still, honesty, responsibility, accountability, it's all there. Quinn Hughes has such a great knack for these interview questions, and we've been saying this ever since the guy was like 19, 20 years old. Ever since the guy was a rookie going up against Cale Makar and whomever it was the other guy. It was Kubalik, I think it was. Yeah, Dominic Kubalik. Yeah, I remember him. Anyways, it was really insightful for Quinn earlier on in his career when he would step up and do these interviews, because he never gave the cliche answers. And now, as the captain of the team, he is proving that the choice to give him that C was the right one. Being the guy to face the media, to make these statements, to say that, yeah, I'm not going to tell you that this is all wrong. I'm not going to blame it on the media. I'm not going to say, oh yeah, you guys are formulating stories and whatever's going on out there is not what's going on in here. We know what we got and we're confident in our product and yada, yada, yada. He's not saying that. He's not saying that there's some sort of fabrication going on. He's saying, yeah, like, we've played together for so long. These guys are professionals. There are going to be times where I get frustrated with Miller, where I get frustrated with Pettersson. He even labels Phil Hronek, like, that guy hasn't played in a while. He's catching strays over here. But it's not wrong. Like, Quinn acknowledging that disagreements and disalignments and ideas between teammates are always going to exist, and he believes in the good of the human beings that are there, as well as the talent that these guys do possess in order to bring the Canucks out of whatever slump they're going through. And he even says, hey, we're still doing pretty okay in the standings relative to the media buzz that's been going on, so there still are some positives to look at. And I think that's such a mature and accurate representation of what needs to be said. It doesn't invalidate what the media has been going out there and talking about, but it also doesn't sugarcoat it either. It doesn't spoon feeds any propaganda or anything the opposite way to its audience. It's like, yeah, no, it's all kind of there. Like, is there a rift here? Well, there are going to be some times where they disagree with each other, but they have to play better. That's it. And if we head over to Rick Tocchet's comments, he went out there and pretty much said the exact same thing. JPat posted this as well. Canucks Rick Tocchet asked about the reported rift between Miller and Elias Pettersson. Thankfully, this video is actually recorded in landscape, posted in landscape. So, JPat, big props out to you for this one. Yeah, no, listen, it's all about the crests, Rick Tocchet goes out there and says. It's always about the crests and not the names on the back. And you're going to have arguments and there are going to be disagreements. Tocchet says that he had won the Stanley Cup 3 times, twice as a part of the coaching staff, once as a player, and there's always been something. So whether people are bickering or complaining, it happens all the time, Tocchet said, and it's my job to make sure that any of those guys, they know that they have a voice and allow them to move on from that sort of stuff, but you also gotta be mature too. It's not about, you don't have to play PlayStation together. You don't have to go to dinner with each other, but if it's your turn to go to the net, you go to the net, you know what I mean? That's what it really comes down to. And so Tocchet does the same thing here. He doesn't say that the media has made all this stuff up. He says, yeah, like, these things happen. Not even just with the Vancouver Canucks, but they happen everywhere. And it's my job to help these guys put their mindsets back into the proper place and allow them to breathe through whatever concerns or potential conflict may arise. And so, for Tocchet, this is pretty good. Again, acknowledgement, not beating around the bush, being very honest about it. That's what we've been wanting out of this team for years. You know how freaking long the Canucks had Jim Benning for? And he'd go out there and say things were all peachy keen and they were trying to get better and trying to make trades and this and that, only for whatever it is the team had to completely fall apart at the seams. We had been seeing dishonest Vancouver Canucks media interviews for years. And now, with Quinn Hughes as the captain and Rick Tocchet as the guy, nobody's beating around the bush here. No disrespect, of course, to like Bo Horvat or any of the other leaders that have been in this organization the past little while, but even Bo Horvat would get into that same pattern of talking about the same things over and over again. Oh, it's on me, we need to be better, this and that, and like, there would never be too much of a head-on address as to what's going on with things. Travis Green, same thing. The Canucks are playing Green later today, and it's funny because they're not playing off against Linus Ullmark, the guy who's been so dominant the past 7 games or so. Instead, the Vancouver Canucks are getting Levi Merilainen, and I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, Levi or Levi, but he is a 22-year-old goaltender that the Sens are placing in today's crease. So, Travis Green, maybe doing a solid to help out the Vancouver Canucks, his old team, who really knows? Speaking about the Canucks and the goaltending situation, they've got Kevin Lankinen suiting up today, not Thatcher Demko. So, to the dismay of many, people thought that there would be a back and forth sort of thing, Demko-Lankinen type of thing. But no, it's going to be Lankinen twice in a row here. And yeah, it's pretty interesting. So we'll talk more about this game as it comes and goes. Get the post game out there once everything is finalized. But for now, I want you to let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about Quinn Hughes and Rick Tocchet both speaking about the Miller-Pettersson conflict and what you got from these interviews. I'll leave both of them in the description below, links on Twitter to JPat's Twitter account. But for now, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.